Alan is still alive. Make sure no one escapes.
Corvinus, that honorless piece of shit! He got away.
And Skyewala has your sister. We'll need to get her out of that villa.
He's dead.
I'm sorry. He was a good man. My friend. Your sister.
Meet us in the Regia when your family is safe. Our dear Pontifex, Maximus Aurelius Cotta, will be good to have on our side.
We have basically already won. This attack represents a clear legal victory.
Marcus, this is not the time.
Help us!
Fortuna sent you. Be swift, though. My sword arm is wounded.
They came out of nowhere. How did they get past the guards? I injured my uncle. If it wasn't for Tiberius, I'd be dead. He selflessly threw himself in front of his own brother's brutes.
May I remind you she happens to be my wife as well. I was a fool to entrust my protection to my brother's men. He knows you won your case in the Senate, and for the first time in his life, he's terrified. He's going to kill all of you. He still believes he can consolidate his power if you're gone. Ever since you ruined our schemes in Greece, you and your friends are the only people he truly fears. And despite all he's done, you've always managed to survive and come out on top. This is his final chance to get rid of you for good. What kind of man would stand idly by while his own brother tries to murder his wife?
It's been 10 years. People change. Tiberius is a good man and a good father. He's never laid a hand on me.
It was political at first, but in time I came to love Liliana more than anything in the world. The Consul of Rome organizing an attack to kill a war hero. That's insane. No one would have believed me. Besides, my brother is a dictator. He's the only real authority here. It wasn't something I did lightly. I know his crimes reflect upon me and my family.
I'm glad you did it. Both of you. He would have come for us no matter what, I'm certain of that.
I really think you should get out of here.
You humble me with your courage. I will keep her safe.
Enough chit-chat. Go, now!
You are alive. Forgive me. We've heard the unthinkable has happened, and Lorco tried to assassinate your family. I could not believe my ears when Cato told me about Lorco's betrayal. This shall not go unpunished.
He will need to come up with a very good reason for doing this.
I'd like to see him try. Truly? What an unexpected turn of events. I suppose there is good in everyone, except Lorco, I would venture.
What if he comes back for us? I don't believe anyone close to you is safe.
Your faith is inspiring.
We need to seize the initiative. Corvinus can't be too far away. As long as he's in the wind, we can't be safe.
Maybe, but it'll take some time, and we don't have much to spare.
I know where he is.
Maybe I can ask some of my friends in the Senate. Lurko must have allies, and perhaps some of them know a few things.
Highly unlikely. Chances are not even Lurko knows where that man is.
I know where he is.
An augury might reveal his location.
Will we set a chicken loose in the streets of Rome and hope that it guides us to him? Hardly.
I know where he is!
All right, there's no need to yell.
He is at Campus Martius, hiding with a group of gladiators he has hired. We can go there and get him. These are men I have fought beside in the arena, who looked up to me once. I am certain. What if it is? Do we have a choice? He killed my Magister. I will make no promises. Lucius Erucius Corvinus! We're here! Come out and play!
The entire ensemble is here. I guess you're ready for the final act. I have to admit, I'm impressed. I did not expect you to be able to find this place. This isn't the first time I've underestimated that Belatro. Taking out the old man wasn't my intention. He died in your stead. If anything, I'd say you killed him. Lurko has said that very same thing about you on many occasions. Pay no heed to his words. We work for the consul himself. Vitellius Lurko will ensure that no punishment of any kind will befall us.
You, Iberius, and you, Sisenna. You fought for us all those years ago when we took back the Legatus' villa.
I do remember you. You paid a fair price for our work.
It's bad luck and worse business to kill a former employer. Come, let's leave. This stingy son of a dog can fight his own fights.
I will skin your face and drink from your skull.
A charming notion, but improbable. May I propose a different option?
There are no options. You will die now.
Or we can be sensible about this and keep him alive. He probably knows a lot about Lurko's plans. Besides, Corvinus is a capable and smart warrior. He'd be useful to us. Killing him will serve no purpose.
It will bring me great satisfaction.
Finally, we can stop watching our backs. Corvinus, you are under arrest for the attempted murder of this man and the actual murder of his service. You're coming with us. Corvinus is inside. His attitude has become quite a bit more cooperative overnight. He will talk if he survives, meaning if we can restrain Bestia. We all have different ways of dealing with grief. I've sent him away. He's probably drowning his sorrows in wine now. The consul has announced that he wants to question this criminal himself, so I expect him to send some of his lictors our way. We are prepared for them. Always. She was supposed to be here. I don't know what she's doing. At once.
Everything is silent. He whimpers like a wounded dog. But silence is in the air. He tried to lick me. His tongue is, but not all his teeth. He is not worth saving. For now, he is evil. Does not matter if he dies. He deserves eternal torment. Fine.
Well, here we go again. You want to try your hand at torturing me as well? And if I don't want to answer? I doubt that. Ask then. Let's get this over with. For too long, he hired me back when he assumed control of Weeksy. Of course not. Weeksy existed in one form or another for hundreds of years. Felix is only the latest of its commanders. I'm no fanatic, though. He merely hired me as a contingency. I am loyal to my contract. Besides, all of his loyal guards are dead, thanks to you. If I have to choose between loyalty and death, I don't have to ponder my options for long. It's not just money. Lurko is a very intelligent man, and I respect that. He plans ahead, and he rarely leaves things to chance. It is the first serious misstep I have ever seen him make. You have got him powerfully rattled. That's why he will never face you in the Senate. That's why he sent me to assassinate you at last. Not out of any personal animosity. With Marcellus and his useless brutes gone, it was up to me to finish the job. That wasn't me. He hired someone else for that. My job was simply to get rid of you. The consul obviously hoped you'd get yourself killed in Gallia. I guess this was his contingency plan. You of all people should know that warfare is about positioning. Once you can cover any possible move your foe might make, victory is a natural outcome. Merely by trying to win from such a position, your enemy defeats himself. Anger won't serve you well against this man. Look, I'm getting bored of this. We both know you're not going to kill me, and I've told you all I know. Frankly, none of this is any use to you. For all I know, me getting caught is part of Lurko's plan. So, hand me over to the authorities and let me face charges. It will never come to that.
No problem. See you soon.
Did he talk?
That is comforting. I'm glad we have him.
What do we do now?
This is so unlike him. Usually he has a plan. I wonder if the whole Corvinus business was a distraction. Distraction from what?
That could be a benefit of all this, but if you couldn't make him talk...
Not a bad idea at all. The pressure on Lurko is mounting. Every man has a breaking point.
I took precautions. The consul of Rome cannot leave the city unnoticed. I thought they'd be with you. I haven't seen any of your companions since yesterday.
Come to think of it, Kato wanted to meet us here too. But he's late. He should be here any moment now. Don't worry. Kato is a smart man who knows how to handle a gladius.
There he is.
Your Praetorian Guard is captured in front of the Senate. We must hurry. It seems he has them arrested for a number of crimes. That would be a grave crime.
And yet saving your companions would be noble, despite the cost.
Political theatre. He has gathered a crowd and he's calling you out. You must be very careful. The lives of your friends are at stake. I'll try to gather some praetores. This is blatantly illegal, but I guess he's finally given up all pretense.
He is desperate. Be very careful. Desperate men do stupid things. I'll come with you to witness the situation.
Keep him occupied until I can bring help. Don't antagonize him.
I will come with you as well.
Traitor to the Republic! Murderer of Romans! Enemy of the people! I have had your co-conspirators arrested, and they are patiently waiting for their moment of execution. But my own patience is wearing thin. I know villains like you do not have a sense of honor or virtue. Nevertheless, I know you were at least born Roman. If you have a speck of honor left, confess and surrender.
Consul, what are you doing? You can't publicly execute people without trial. Our laws forbid such despotism.
As dictator, prescription is well within my rights. The people of Rome saw fit to grant me that power. Who are you to question the wisdom of the people? As long as Rome remains in crisis, I shall remain dictator. Your traitor friends are rightfully apprehended. If you want them, you'll have to go through me. It clearly isn't. You are still alive, aren't you? You always worked against me, when the only thing I wanted was to build a strong Rome. Just like your father, you are envious of what I will achieve. Great works are built on bloodshed. Sacrifices must be made.
Then make your sacrifice yourself, coward.
Unless your intention is to bore me to death, I would like to start executing these criminals.
This is bullshit. Those people are heroes. They've done nothing wrong. Let them go!
You have lost your control, Lurko. Look at the faces of these people, your fellow citizens. They're afraid.
Only criminals and traitors should be afraid of me.
They're afraid of what you have turned the Republic into. That fear will turn into anger the moment anyone decides to stand up and protect the Republic.
You're a good tactician. Consider your position now. Your prisoners are the only advantage you possess. But they're only valuable while they're still alive. The legatus can wait until you turn yourself into a murderer.
Or we can simply kill you and save them all. Then you will have achieved nothing here.
You wouldn't do that. You're men of law and order.
Victory is fleeting. Loyalty is eternal. We shall still be your warriors in the underworld where spirits dwell.
He can't kill us. He doesn't have the balls to do something like that. He knows he will be condemned.
I look forward to seeing my sister again, and to tell her that I'm sorry. My only regret is to die at the hands of such a pathetic man.
I've shed blood in the name of Rome since the day I was born, and today shall be no different. Let him execute us, if that's what it takes to save the Republic. It's not for nothing. It's for everything.
Enough! Make your decision. As you wish. Who shall we take first?
If you must kill someone, take me. I will gladly lay down my life to save my friends.
You must not sacrifice yourself. He loves you. Survive for his sake. Kill me if you dare. I will go gladly to the afterlife. Perhaps I will finally meet my sister there.
Don't do it! This isn't justice!
I decide what is just. Execute him.
My brave friend, you deserved a more glorious death than this.
A traitor to the Republic has been brought to justice. I truly wonder what you will do now. I'm a man of my word. Witnesses? Who's going to hold me responsible? I am dictator in perpetuo!
This is sick! It's an atrocity! What's next? Will you have Pompeius executed too?
Calm yourselves! People of Rome, I am you... Don't you understand? A firm hand is what the Republic needs!
Despot! Tyrant! Down with him! Get him! Put him down from there!
Get me out of here! Just get me out!
You're on your own, consul!
Coward!
Webius Vitellius Lurco, you're not going anywhere! Throw yourself at the mercy of the Senate!
You can't do this. You don't have the authority. Get your hands off me! I am your consul!
Not for long, we'll see to that.
We won. My friend, you did it.
I should go home now. You do look better today.
Such things are natural. You've been tested physically and mentally. Furthermore, you've triumphed over your opponent. That much is certain. Your friends did not give their lives in vain.
In the end, Bestia's death made a greater difference than any of the lives he's ever taken.
I never thought he would offer up his life. Cineros really changed him.
Lurco will certainly be exiled, or even executed. The Senate doesn't have a high opinion of traitors. Obviously, you'll have to testify. I know. You paid a heavy price to keep it that way.
If you will forgive me for bringing this up, I believe this will be good for your political career. Why not? You are the right age to begin the cursus honorum. All senators have to start somewhere. As far as the Senate is concerned, you are a tragic hero who brought a corrupt consul to justice. Regardless of what happens to Lurco, Rome will need a new consul. And I can't think of a better candidate.
Cato is right. Both the Optimates and the Populares already support you. If you run for Senate, the election will result in a landslide win.
I have no doubts.
You did save them. Those who remain alive have you to thank for it. This chapter ends, and another chapter begins. Fortuna alone knows what the future holds.
So ends the abridged history of one of the most beloved consuls of the Republic of Rome. It is thanks to him and his efforts to thwart the corruption and ambition of Vitellius Lurco that Rome remains a proud republic to this day. With his allies in the Senate, he worked tirelessly to address the problems that had plagued the Republic since its birth. Though many among the people of Rome lamented what they saw as a lost opportunity to challenge the status quo, the strengthening of democracy greatly improved life throughout the provinces of Rome. In time, the savior of the Republic took his well-deserved place in history among such heroes as Cincinnatus or Scipio Africanus. Cineros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cineros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old dominus, whose death had incited this story. Though his death had been unexpected, He met his end with dignity and resolve. He had received forgiveness and, after a fashion, vindication for the mistakes of his youth. He was missed by all those who knew him. Ever faithful and supportive, Caeso stayed by the side of his beloved. The Centurio had always seemed destined to meet a violent end in some faraway land. But he found to his surprise that a quiet life suited him. But not so quiet as to lack drink and debauchery, of course. Lucia and their child were well taken care of, though they never played a great part in Caeso's life. Callida had been redeemed in the eyes of the law, and so she was able to stay in Rome and remain close to her friends. She settled into her new life surprisingly well, now that she was able to live it on her own terms. She was not in any great hurry to find a husband. Instead, she worked with her brother Aulus, who she forgave for not standing up to their parents. And with her talent for subterfuge and cunning, their family business thrived. Had Bestia given up hope of finding his sister again? With his death at Lurko's hands, at least, any remaining hope died with him. It might seem senseless that a man who had fought his whole life would die without a struggle, but there is a kind of poetry in it. Bestia had finally learned that it is better to die for something you value than to live for nothing at all. Once everything had settled down, Deianira returned to her homelands in Scythia, where she reconnected with her family. She brought some of them with her back to Rome, where they settled into a life of luxury. Though they would never feel quite at home in the city, they found that it was much easier to be outsiders together than alone. Deianira always remained loyal to her friends. Vitellius Scaevola left Roman politics and moved to Upper Latium with his wife Liviana, where they raised their children together in peace. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. With Mithridates dead and his sons lacking his ability to rule, Pontus was soon annexed by Rome. The region never again rose to prominence. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Grateful for the mercy he had been shown, and no longer with Mithridates to tempt his greed, Damianos quickly resumed political leadership of Thracia. Here, the gladiator rebellion that had started in his school was threatening to spiral out of control. Thanks to Damianos, the gladiators were pacified quickly, and without inordinate bloodshed. Lunia's death sent Nazarmanes spiraling into a fractious conflict, as greedy elders from minor tribes attempted to fill the void her passing had left behind. Though Queen Cleopatra attempted to bring the region under control, her attentions were too divided, the conflict too great for her to manage. Rome was forced to send more legions to enforce peace and stability with an iron fist. Though Africa Proconsularis eventually saw peace again, the traditions and culture of the Berber population were lost forever. Queen Cleopatra Philopator was, from the day of her coronation, a greatly beloved Queen of Egypt. Revered and admired by the population, she spent many of her days traveling up and down the Nile to visit her subjects and address their troubles and concerns. Under her rule, Egypt remained a powerful and prosperous nation and a strong ally of Rome. The fruits of the Nile flowed freely to the people of the Republic. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Raya eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Raya naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diwitiacus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The once proud and strong Arwerni were greatly reduced by the defeat of Vercingetorix, but his survival gave them hope. His will to make war upon Rome had been crushed, but he remained a strong figure of leadership among his people, even despite his failures. With his guidance, the tribes of Gallia remained unified and somewhat at peace, and vestiges of their culture and traditions survived their gradual subjugation under Rome. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. In his darkest moods, the savior of Rome must have wondered if there was anything he could have done differently to save his friends. Perhaps if he had struck down Vitellius Lurco on that stage, or if he had gone so far as to bring his legion across the Rubicon, none of his companions would have had to die. But for those of us left to live in a peaceful and strong republic, what transpired seems like the best possible outcome. Our republic was saved, and the villain, Vitellius Lurco, was brought to justice. One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.
Ну вот и конец игры. Долго я о ней говорить не буду, поскольку игруля не претендент на звание шедевра, а является обычным хорошим проходным среднячком, в который можно поиграть на досуге, чтобы убить время, и при ее завершении идти дальше искать что-то другое. Экспедиция Рим – это историческая стратегия с пошаговыми сражениями, несложная, с событиями на карте и целью, помимо основного сюжета, захватить все доступные для этого регионы. То есть победить пару-тройку врагов, на которых вам указывают в вашем лагере, отбить ближайшие места для добычи ресурсов, ну и в конечном итоге пойти на штурм главного города. И хотя звучит все это интересно и занимательно, а в игре так-то вообще 4 акта, на деле игра пустовата. И если убрать все эти доп-квесты, которые надо сделать для продвижения основного сюжета, я даже не уверена, сколько полных игровых часов вообще наберется. Впрочем, это отличный вариант для тех, кто не хочет торчать по 100, а то и 200 часов в одной и той же игре. Тем более, что сюжет интересный, атмосфера вообще замечательная. Для человека со слабостью к историческим играм это глоток свежего воздуха. Вы вот знаете, что мой любимый жанр, неважно, будь то фильм, книга или игра, это фэнтези. Но при этом я просто обожаю игры с другими культурами. Скандинавия, Греция, Рим, страны Азии, легенды, мифы, фольклор – это моя слабость. Будет звучать, наверное, немного по-детски, но для меня это отчасти как фэнтези. Да, то, что было. Но я этого не застала и никогда уже не смогу. А потому подобные кусочки чужой истории так интересно изучать. И я сейчас не говорю о суровых и тяжелых условиях жизни людей в то время. Я прекрасно осознаю, что в то время можно было умереть уже в 14. То в тебя могли стрелой засадить, то голод, то грязь, никакой медицины или удобств современного мира. Я это знаю. Меня никогда и не посещало желание жить в то время. Я говорю именно о поверхностных красотах, атмосфере, одеяниях, разнице культур. Мне нравится в подобных произведениях погружаться как в суровую жизнь викингов с холодами, медовухой и шкурами убитых голыми руками зверей на плечах, так и в философские будни римлян с их тогами, вином и искусной архитектурой. Надеюсь, вы понимаете, о чем я говорю, и тоже испытываете нечто подобное. Так вот, данная игра передает нужную атмосферу, и уже за это в нее стоит поиграть. Главная фишка основного сюжета, кстати, это один из моих любимейших тропов. Главный герой в самом начале никто и звать его никак, но по ходу сюжета, доказывая свою значимость, он становится одним из влиятельнейших людей. Очень завлекательно, обожаю такое. Касательно спутников и романов. Ну, про роман с Цеза я расскажу вам подробнее, конкретно видео с его романом. А вот про компаньонов обмолвлюсь сейчас. Персонажи прописаны, они интересны, и мне очень понравилась фишка с их личными заданиями. Они выполняют их сами, не втягивая в это главного героя. Это прям реалистично. С одной стороны, конечно, немного коробит, что протагонист вдруг оказывается не в курсе вообще всех событий. Но при этом то, что люди справляются со своими проблемами сами, а главный герой не водит их за ручку с места на место, помогает лишь в совсем уж безвыходном положении, выглядит куда реалистичнее, чем если бы компаньоны постоянно обращались к своему командиру по любой мелочи. К сожалению, более ничего позитивного я про спутников сказать не могу, просто потому что они раскрыты гораздо хуже, чем в предыдущей игре от данной же студии «Экспедиции викингов». Да, мы их узнаем, у каждого свой характер и какие-то проблемы, есть личные квесты, но это все так мизерно в общей канве повествования, что ты про них иногда тупо забываешь. Большую часть времени спутники болванчиками стоят в лагере и вообще ничего не комментируют на карте. У них редко появляются какие-то новые диалоги. Но благо, что хоть во время сюжетных заданий компаньоны что-то комментируют. А так они просто стоят и слушают, что там ГГ мутит. Мне не хватило ощущения жизни от этих героев. Самый раскрытый среди всех – это, наверное, все же Цеза. Он как-никак правая рука протагониста. Но минус данного героя, лично для меня, это его роман. Но о нем в другом видео, как я уже ранее упомянул. Касательно выборов и последствий. Игра не отличается вариативностью, но все же предоставляет игрокам некоторые шаги в сторону. К примеру, выбор на сторону какого правителя встать. Что делать в финале с Римом и какая судьба ждет главного героя в самом важном выборе на конечном суде. Эти выборы также, лично для меня, я ничего не говорю про вас, вы делаете свои собственные выводы, оказались слабее, чем в викингах. Там вообще весь финал меняется в зависимости от того, на сторону какой фракции вы встали в конце. Тут же все сводится конкретно к Риму и внутреннему конфликту в нем. Конечно, я не могу отрицать, что момент с бестией был сильным, демонстрирующим его изменения, но я не очень люблю концы, где ради хорошего финала кто-то собой жертвует. Это сильный ход, но послевкусие оставляет слишком горькое. Да и ни один бестия собой пожертвовал, а это явно шрамы на сердце главного героя оставит. Делая вывод, скажу так. Игра хорошая, пройти ее советую. Она вас не будет напрягать или утомлять. В ней есть атмосфера, сюжет, герои, романы и несколько влияющих на концовку выборов. Не ждите шедевра, игра не на это рассчитана. Она просто позволяет вам провести несколько хороших часов в окружении воинов Римского легиона, немного пофилософствовать среди именитых людей, попивая сладкое вино, и ощутить вкус громких завоеваний. Игра прекрасно знает свой уровень и не пытается выставить себя лучше, чем она есть, что ей только в плюс. А играли ли вы в экспедицию Рим? Понравилась ли вам игра? И какой у вас вышел финал? Расскажите мне, пожалуйста. А еще напишите, нравятся ли вам в принципе исторические игры. Я с удовольствием почитаю ваши комментарии. Ну а на этом все. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, оставляйте комментарии. Я буду очень благодарна, если вы расскажете о канале или поделитесь этим видео. Не забывайте и про Бусти, пожалуйста, так как там видео появляются гораздо раньше, чем на Ютубе. Там же я собираю донаты на переводы разных визуальных новелл. А также каждый месяц проходит аукцион-обзоры, на которых вы можете заказать у меня обзор чего угодно, если успеете купить слот. К тому же, на Бусти я открыто освещаю более откровенные и взрослые темы. Ну и, конечно же, делюсь прогрессом написания своей книги в жанре фэнтези, говорю о фанфиках, о новеллах, публикую превью новых игр, переводов и рабочего процесса в целом. Всех своих замечательных бустеров я благодарю от всего сердца за поддержку. Ну, а на этом все. Спасибо, что были со мной, и до встречи в других видео.